There are fresh reports of clashes between police and anti-Wall Street protesters in New York, followed by arrests. This as several hundred people marched in the city's streets to show solidarity with fellow activists in Oakland, California, who suffered a severe crackdown by riot squads. Well, RT's Marina Portnaya is following developments in New York and joins us now live. Marina, what more do we know about these latest developments?
Well, the latest developments to come from the New York City Police Department is that at least 12 people, if not more, have been arrested thus far as this demonstration in New York City has been taking place for hours now. At least 500 activists of Occupy Wall Street have been walking or were walking through Lower Manhattan to show their solidarity with the protesters from Oakland, California. Now, that's where police had used tear gas to disperse a crowd just 24 hours ago. Many people, of course, injured there in a violent clash between police officers and activists. But here in New York City, we saw many Occupy protesters take to the street, walk from their grounds in Zuccotti Park all through Lower Manhattan, chanting, "Oakland is New York, New York is Oakland." Now, as this massive group was walking through Manhattan, there were helicopters flying overhead. We saw riot police come out, an endless stream of police officers and police cars following the group around. People were emerging from bars all along Manhattan to ask what was going on and then voicing their support for the Occupy movement. Some people were even seen getting out of yellow cabs and walking along with demonstrators. But of course, as with every Occupy protest, there were clashes between police officers and activists. There were some scenes of police officers arresting some activists and at some point taking them down to the ground. Some of the activists were walking with orange netting. It was unclear if they if that orange netting was obtained by the New York City Police Department from the officers or if they brought that netting on their own. And of course, we know that this is netting that the NYPD has used to catch and arrest the Occupy Wall Street activists in previous weeks. Now, this is 6 weeks into a movement that has grown larger and louder, not just in New York City, but across the entire country. From what we're being told, the demonstrations are winding down right now in Zuccotti Park, but there is still a police presence there. The police presence is diminishing from what we understand, but this is just the latest developments and demonstrations that we're seeing in this ongoing movement.
Marina, it looks like rather than tolerating the protests, police in more cities are targeting them and cracking down. What's going on?
That's right. In the past day or so, we have seen a huge crackdown. Now, in Atlanta, an Occupy demonstration took place. At least 50 activists were arrested there, but it was in Oakland, California, that the scenes, many say, look like something of an urban war zone. The Occupy activists that took to the streets in Oakland, California, there were at least 350 of them, got into clashes with the police. Now, the police fired tear gas and rubber bullets at the crowd, trying to remove the activists from a campground that they established 2 weeks ago in front of City Hall in Oakland, California. Now, we saw over 500 riot police violently try to evict the activists. At least 97 protesters were arrested, but we do know that there was one man shot in the face by a rubber bullet, and there was an Iraqi war veteran by the name of Scott Olson. He's a former Marine, two-time Iraq war veteran. He is now in critical condition from what's being reported. He was shot in the head by a police projectile, and right now he's in the hospital in critical condition. He was one of the many Iraq war veterans that were peacefully participating in the Occupy Oakland march. There were many other people to suffer injuries while these clashes took place between police officers and the protesters. The police officers fired a total of what's being reported as 4 rounds of tear gas against the crowd. Now, officials say that police had no other choice because the protesters were throwing rocks and bottles at the officers. City's officials say two Oakland police officers were injured, but there were a lot of injuries to be seen on the part of the activists that were participating in this demonstration in Oakland, California. And so far, there's not much images or visuals or video to come out that showed any of the protesters attacking the police officers. And the police in Oakland, California, New York City, and throughout the country have been criticized for using brutal force against these activists that are just trying to exercise their freedom of speech.
OK, we'll leave it there for now. Marina Portnaya, thank you for that.